You ever had an experience where you fired a client for treating you like
Oh, tons. I think we've fired about 8 people in Success School so far in 2 years. And yeah, I can tell you it's the best thing we ever did. At some point, you've just got to realize like the pain or the grief people are putting you through is not worth the money for what it is.
Every single entrepreneur that you look up to, ever, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Alex Hormozi, I can guarantee you they've had 100 failed launches. All they've taken from that is, I have more to learn. That didn't work. Okay, well, now I know. They don't go and wear it like a badge of honor, like, I guess that I'm just a failure. You're making it mean something about you instead of just seeing it as a result of an outcome that you tried.
Today we have a Q&A episode. Steph, how are you feeling?
Yeah, love being here in this room with you, chatting all things business.
So today we've got 10 questions every coach needs to hear. We're going to hit growth, lead gen, staying sane, everything in the middle. But we're going to kick off with a personal update. Steph, do you want to kick us off? What's going on with you?
Yeah, I thought that's something that might be interesting to share. And I think that our clients are guilty of it, but I don't want to just blame them because I think that I'm also incredibly guilty of this. Is that sometimes when we tell ourselves things are going to be hard, no surprises, but then they end up being hard. And I think that that plays out in so many ways. Like we see our clients all the time. They're like, oh my God, Facebook ads are just so hard to learn. But then once they actually just sit down and put their mind to it, within a couple of hours, they've got it, it's set up, it's generating leads. It's all happy days. Yeah. And I think we are all of us so guilty of that. Like a launch is going to be too hard. A conversion event's going to be too hard. A masterclass is going to be too hard. And recently I saw a trend of video reels that I wanted to try. And when I first saw it, I was really frustrated. You remember I was really frustrated. I was like, oh God, but it's just so good and so high quality. Like we just can't do that. It's just, it's too hard. It's too difficult. It's too much effort. Anyway, this week I filmed 3 of those reels in an hour. Now, to be fair, it took me about half an hour to plan the reels and then about an hour of your support to kind of do, because they had some drawing involved and I've 100% failed art class. But it really just was not as hard as I thought. And always remember that the first time you do anything is going to be the hardest it's going to be. Now I know how to do it. I'm like, okay, I could probably do it again a lot faster the second time round, the third time round. But oftentimes we think, oh my God, I'm just never going to be able to figure it out. But if you just sit down and you just put your mind to it, it usually doesn't take anywhere near as long as you think. And I think that so many entrepreneurs and so many people listening to this podcast are caught up telling themselves some bullshit story about how it's going to be too hard. And it's delaying their progress and it's delaying their ability to scale from 10K months, 20K months, 30K months, 50K months and beyond. And even for us, to the next million, because we're just running some bullshit story about how it's going to be too hard. And I think that particular story is probably the number one story that's holding most entrepreneurs back at the moment in the world.
Yeah. What specifically is the story that they're running?
Yeah, it's going to be too hard. Like I can't, I want to do that, but it's too hard. I want to do that, but I don't have time because it's too hard. Like if you go into that activity and you think, hey, this is going to be really hard, you're going to find it really hard. But if you go into the activity like I did with the videos and I was like, this is just what it takes, Steph, and you just got to get it done. All of a sudden, it's just not as hard as you thought it was going to be. So I think it's just about reframing that internal dialogue.
Mine this week is had a message from amazing client of ours, Britt, and she said, hey Tim, I've been quiet lately because I've just been using your AI bot. And I was like, okay, cool, that's great. Why specifically? And she says, I don't want to waste your time with dumb questions. And I was like, I actually really appreciate that. And every coach out there can probably agree with that in some point where like sometimes people just ask you really dumb questions almost for the sake of it. And she kind of said to herself, well, I'll just check with Timbot, I'll check with AI. And then if I'm really stuck with something, then I'll ask you like the real Tim. And it got us thinking, we were talking about it over the week. It's like some people, like they use coaching a little bit differently than we do. We really only speak to our coaches or ask them questions if it's like pressing and I can't work it out myself. Whereas the problem with asking someone for help all the time is you're waiting on them to reply to you, which sometimes can be 24, 48 hours, 72 hours. Entrepreneurship loves speed. So the faster you move in entrepreneurship, the more results you get. And if every time you have like an issue and you don't try to solve it yourself with AI or Coach Tim or whatever you're using, you're just slowing your progress down. And I thought it was so cool that she had that like realization that she was like, I am my own bottleneck in the speed and in terms of like the questions I am asking. And then when you do get help from an actual real coach and that's strategic and it's a high level question and it's a big thing that can't be AI'd or can't be answered by a bot, your business grows so much faster. And it was more like a reflection point, and I just wanted to talk about it on the podcast, is like, if you've used a coach before, are you using it to the best of your ability and their ability, or are you asking questions that can be simply Googled? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think that in the coaching space, like, you know, our clients are incredibly lucky because we reply within 24 hours, right? Like we have this promise that except for on weekends, we reply within 24 hours. So if you ask something on Monday morning at like 10 a.m., but before probably the end of the day, but definitely by Monday morning, the next morning, your question will be answered.
Yeah.
And that sounds fast, and that's way faster than like 95% of programs, right? Most programs will be like, oh, I'll get back to you within 3 business days. But you just said it yourself, like money loves speed, business loves speed. And especially if you're under 50K a month, and honestly, it actually doesn't matter. Like we're scaling up to like the next million. And ultimately, money loves speed. And if you are not moving fast, like 24 hours to answer a question that could have been answered by AI instantly. So when we say instantly, we're looking at an extra 23 and a half hours that you would have had to work on the next project, to work on the next thing, to work on. And over the course of a year,
It's huge.
I can't even do the math because obviously that's just not my thing, but it's a lot of additional momentum that you could have created. And so, yeah, I think that we're moving into this space where I think the way that people use coaching is going to change and should be changing. And I think that right now, if you're in entrepreneurship, you're in a money season. Like you have AI that is just able to amplify the output, that's able to help you move and create momentum faster than ever before. But it's not good enough yet to take over your job. So like right now is the season to be like, you know, really using AI, getting good strategic advice from coaches. And I think it's an awesome time.
Yeah, it's another thing that happens in the coaching industry is coaches, I don't know if they purposely do this like other business coaches, but they get their clients like obsessed with needing their approval for everything. Therefore, it slows them down. We've seen it a bunch of times. Like some people have come to us from other coaches and they want to run everything past us, like every move. Hey, what do you think about my headline? What do you think about these 3 bullet points? And then their movement is so tied to the coach's approval that they just never really end up doing anything. And I think that's like a hostage situation in the coaching world. I think it's a terrible thing. We want to empower our clients to move fast without us and then use us when they need. We give them the tools, support, motivation, like in-person connection, workshops, all that type of stuff. But I don't think a client should be running every fucking move past their coach if they want speed.
Entrepreneurship is about being able to move fast independently, and that's the skill that we teach our clients. 100%.
All right, we're going to get into questions. So we've got Q&A today. So we've got these from Coaching Portal, what you guys have sent to us on Instagram. We've got 10 questions today, which cover a wide range of topics, and they're incredible. So first one is from Jess R. We've left out the last names here for the confidentiality purposes, but she asked, how do you raise your prices without losing clients or feeling guilty? Steph.
Look, I don't know if there's ever a time where you raise your prices and you don't feel uncomfortable. Like it is just not a comfortable thing to do. It doesn't matter what level you're at. It feels uncomfortable to increase your prices. And it especially feels uncomfortable to increase your prices if you have clientele that you're having to increase prices for. So for example, like we often do price increases inside Success School, but every price that you've paid up until that point, you get to keep. If we had to go back to 200 clients and increase the price point, that would be uncomfortable. Like I would feel uncomfortable about that. So this is normal. Okay, guys, it's really normal to feel uncomfortable about increasing your prices. So the question is, how do you raise your prices without losing clients or feeling guilty? One, you probably will lose clients. So just be prepared for that. So whenever we're telling our clients to increase their prices, one of the things that I always make sure they do is a bucket load of marketing on the front end. So if you can get what I would call a bit of a pipeline happening of really warm leads, maybe a wait list, maybe, you know, a ton of people, sales calls booked in the pipeline, my advice would be to try and build a bit of a pipeline first. Then when you're actually going out to and increasing your prices to your clients, you need to position that so cleverly. There's a really clever way to do this where you focus on all the added benefits they're going to get from this price increase. And there already are added benefits. Like the reason that you're increasing your prices is because you're probably bringing on team and support so that you can ensure that the level of standard stays the same. It's probably because you are investing in better systems, you're investing in better processes. Like there's stuff that you're bringing into the business right now that is elevating the client experience or ensuring that you maintain the client experience. And because of that, the price is going up. So when you are letting them know that the price is going to go up, you just need to let them know that these are all the reasons why. Here's all the benefits to you. Here's what you can expect. And if you have any questions, let me know. That's pretty much it. You will feel guilty. anticipate that you will lose some clients. That is natural.
Yep.
They're not rejecting you. It's just that the service has changed and maybe they no longer need it or can literally no longer afford it at the price that it's at. And just know that you will replace them with new clients. Is there anything I missed?
The only thing you missed is probably a bit more tactical, which is like, I probably wouldn't raise it any more than like 10 or 15% per quarter. It's kind of like that thing where you hear about these brand conspiracies in the world where they change one small thing at a time. And then in 5 years' time, they've been doing that every month and the whole world has changed and you just don't even know. But it happens so incrementally and slowly. You want to use that exact same premise with business and raising your prices, is just do it slow and incrementally. If you do like a big, like 30, 40, 50% increase, you're obviously going to lose a lot of people and piss a lot of people off. When I used to do it at the gym, I used to do it like incrementally, like a small increase, like, hey, it's only $4 extra a week. And then 2 months later, it was an extra $4 on there. And then
The other like benefit to that is like if you do, this is not our recommendation, but if you did do like a 50% price increase, you probably lose 50% of your clients.
Yeah.
And you'd probably just be making the same money for half the amount of clients. So sometimes if you're really undercharging, first of all, if you're really undercharging, your clients already know that as well. But secondly, sometimes it can work out. It's just not what we would recommend. It's pretty risky. So question 2 is from Laura O. She's asked, how do you attract quality leads when your pipeline dries up?
Cool. So the analogy here is that if you go fishing in the same pond over and over with the same bait, the same lure, the same tackle, eventually the fish are going to run dry and you've caught all the fish. This is what happens with every single person's audience. So your pond or your lead pipeline, everything will dry up eventually. So you need to add people in. You've kind of, in your audience, you've got who you've got, and that's it. And people like to separate these as high quality, low quality, medium quality, cheap. They won't buy all the different types of things. So if you want to attract the right people, there's a guy I learned from, and I'm forgetting his name right now, and he's a really famous marketer. It's not coming to me, but he has this concept of dog whistle copy. And dog whistle is essentially something that whistles that we can't hear because the frequency is so high, but dogs go crazy for it because it's a dog whistle. You want to use that same concept in marketing, where if you put out a marketing message, you want to attract the exact type of person that you're going for. So Laura, your message that you put out there on specifically ads has to be very specific to the niche or the type of person you're trying to attract. So Laura, if you're looking for mums that are over 100 kilos and they want to lose 10 kilos of weight and they want to do it in 6 weeks, and you put that out in an ad, you're probably going to attract the right type of people. People go very general with this stuff, and that's why they have a very hard time attracting quality or the right type of leads that they're after. It's good, it is very general. The other thing you want to think about here is direct response copywriting. It's kind of like dog whistle, but very similar in the copy and the ads that you run, especially with the new Andromeda update. You need to be specifically speaking to one type of person in the messaging. You can't just put out general stuff anymore and expect to attract these high quality people. Anything I missed?
I think you nailed that perfectly.
All right, next question from Elin G. How do you stop overworking and actually switch off when your business is booming? Great question for you, Steph.
Oh yeah. Well, I've been feeling this recently.
Yeah.
I've been guilty of a burnout. I've had many burnouts over the last 7 years of entrepreneurship. And one thing I'm really trying hard to do this time around, because we are in a season of build and we are in a season of growth, and that means that there are lots of grindy days and lots of big projects that we're working on, and it's exciting. And I think this is exactly the way that Elin feels. It's exciting when you have some momentum and you just don't really want to switch off, but you do have to. You do have to switch off. It's like a non-negotiable. So how do you stop overworking and actually switch off when your business is booming? The first thing that I will say here is that you've probably right now, Elin, are finding yourself in actually a scarcity mindset loop.
Yeah.
You are scared that this is going to run out. And so because you're scared it's going to run out, your nervous system is like, oh my God, I must keep working. I have to make this all happen right now. And instead of being like, it's okay, I know that if I just keep this consistent, Elin, if you just kept doing everything you're doing right now consistently for the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, your business will consistently grow. The problem is that because you're slipping into some scarcity of, oh my God, it's going to run out. How will I sustain this? Oh my God. And you go into almost like a fear-based state. What's going to happen is that you will not be able to sustain this. Your nervous system will get exhausted. You will overwork. You will overdeliver. You will put so much pressure on yourself that you crash, and then it will stop, and then you'll go backwards in revenue, and then you'll have to get back up there again, and you won't trust yourself anymore. And so my biggest piece of advice to you right now is actually to force yourself to switch off and to know that you're not getting lucky. This isn't a lucky run. Like, you're putting the things in place right now that are working and the systems in place that are working so that you can continue to optimize those systems over the next 6, 12, 18 months. Like, you guys are not in this for the short term. This is not a sprint. It is a marathon. And so know that if it was a marathon, if you were running the length of Australia, you would have to stop every day and take a break and get a massage and do an ice bath. And like, you've got to treat this exactly the same way. You've got to treat yourself like an athlete in business, and athletes rest.
Yeah. My only thing to add to that is just this shit never stops, Elin. Like, I've been doing this 17 years now, and every week is the exact same. The weeks just fly by, and it just fucking always keeps going, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So Emma N has asked, how do you sell group programs when people aren't buying like they used to? Oh, that's interesting.
Great question, Emma. How I'm going to tackle this is with an example. I had a sales call yesterday with someone named Carla, and she got on and said her business had gone backwards, almost halved in the last 12 months. And I said, what's changed? And she's like, well, my organic isn't working like it used to. And I was like, oh, cool. What other marketing? I did some deep diving on that. What other marketing are you doing? She wasn't really doing too much besides organic. And I kind of said to her, look, algorithms change all the time. Like, I think that's the main problem. And here's the solution. The solution was we need to set up this funnel called DM ads. I ran her through it and I told her about it. And then I said, cool, I can help you set that up. The how, if we do that, is like inside our mastermind program. So I wasn't selling a group program. I was selling the solution. Okay. And that's what a lot of people are out there doing. They're like, hey, join my group program and it's $197 a week. No one gives a fuck about the group program. They want the result. And how they get the result is they join the program, or they do the mastermind, or they do the course that you are selling. So I think it is the framing and positioning, Emma. I think you probably need to look at your sales process and how you're actually doing that. But just as a general rule of thumb, you want to find out someone's goal, you want to find out their problem, you want to find out what they've tried, and then you want to position your thing as the bridge and the solution to what they're doing. Steph, do you think group programs aren't selling as much, or do you think it is a sales process? Like, what are your thoughts on the market?
I don't think anyone is looking for help in their business. Like, this is real talk.
Real talk.
Like, we run group programs.
Yeah.
With one-to-one. We have one-to-one programs, but we run group programs. I don't think anybody is like waking up one morning going, you know what I need? A group program.
Yeah.
Like, that's not, it's
Never.
just not the thought process. Like, no one is thinking that. Like, also very rarely are they waking up thinking, you know what I need? A one-to-one coach. Sometimes they think that, but more often than not, like, they're definitely not. Regarding group programs, there was a time where group programs were kind of on the rise, and everyone was like, oh my God, it's so great to be in a
I need a mastermind.
Yeah, I'm in a mastermind. It's so great to be in a community of people pushing ahead. But most people now have been in a group mastermind.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of people have had really shit experiences, which makes it even harder to sell group programs. Yeah. And so I would not be leading with this is a group program.
Yeah.
I also probably wouldn't be leading with this is a one-to-one program. I don't actually think that they care about the delivery of the program.
Yeah.
They care about the result that you get, and they want to know that you have a system for getting the result, and they want to know the timeline that result will take. And that's what they're looking for. And if you're not giving them that information, then they're going to be like, why would I join a group program?
Yeah, it's going to be super hard.
Absolutely.
Next question is from Cosmo M. How do you rebuild confidence after a failed launch or a bad month? Man, I would open up a can of whoop ass on you here, Cosmo, but Steph's going to take this question.
Cosmo, you're making it mean something about you.
Yeah.
And every single entrepreneur that you look up to, ever, anyone, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Alex Hormozi, Layla Hormozi, anyone that you look up to, like literally anybody in the whole world that you look up to, Amy Porterfield, it does not matter who it is that you look up to. I can guarantee you they've had 100 failed launches. They've probably had 1,000 bad months, like really probably not 1,000 because they would be really old, but they've had so many failed launches. They've had so many bad months. And all they've taken from that is, I have more to learn. That didn't work. I need to do that better. Okay, well, now I know. They don't go and wear it like a badge of honor, like, oh, well, I guess that I'm just a failure. Oh, well, I guess that I suck and I should just probably give up. You're making it mean something about you instead of just seeing it as a result of an outcome that you tried. For example, if you buy a pair of shoes and they're brand new and you wear them to a music festival and you get blisters, you don't sit there for the next 3 weeks being like, I am such a failure. You just go, fuck, I shouldn't wear new shoes to festivals. That makes sense. Feedback. Like, next time I'm going to wear my comfy ones because I know that they're going to be comfortable all day. It's just feedback. And the same thing applies to business in every single way. Now, the actual part of this that's probably the most charged for Cosmo or for anybody is the money. And I think that we attribute so much energetic emotion to money, but money doesn't care about us. It is just the same as this microphone or this laptop. It is just a thing. It means nothing. And we put so much emotional charge and so much belief and energy behind the meaning of money. Like if I don't receive it, therefore it makes me X, it makes me a failure, it makes me a loser. And it's just so unhelpful. Like you just need to see it as exactly what it is. Oh, it's not, first of all, it's not even failed. It didn't work. It didn't work launch. What didn't work about it? Sick. Let's fix that for next time. That's it. Did I miss anything?
You didn't miss anything. So Cosmo, I don't know if you've seen, I actually know Cosmo. I've got something tattooed on my arm. It says be better. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way to you, Cosmo, because I know you had a bad month. But like, honestly, when I'm having a hard time, I look at my tattoo on my arm and I say, fuck, Tim, be better. Because the results that anyone has in their business is a direct reflection of them. And it's not like a, fuck you, you suck, Cosmo. It's a, hey, like, what can you analyze and step back and say, hey, maybe I didn't execute that to its fullest? Because like the results that everyone's having, like there's no hiding that. It's due to the effort that you put in. Maybe it's the wrong effort and that's okay, but you just need to learn from it. And it's a helpful reminder for me. Like literally every time I look at my arm, I'm like, fuck, be better, dude. Like you just got to step up and be better. And it's a really helpful frame rather than just like being in a little bit of a pity party about it and just like blaming myself and being like, I suck. Like who really cares, dude? Like let's just move on and have a good month the next month. And that's how you bounce back.
On the topic of tattoos, I think this is quite interesting and just side topic.
Yeah.
Can you also tell us about the tattoo that's written on your chest?
Yeah.
What does that say? Because we have words all, like you and I actually have a lot of words. We got words all over our bodies for reminders, but you tell me what the one on your chest says.
Yeah, it's like my second tattoo I ever got, I think when I was 17. And it says, Mittelmaßigkeit ist eine Sünde, which in German, that's my heritage, it says, mediocrity is a sin. And honestly, I look at it every morning and I say to myself, like, fucking, let's go, dude. Do you want to be average or you just want to be like everyone else? And like, it's a big driver for me. It's like away from motivation of, I just don't want to be like everyone else. So you got to step the fuck up.
Yeah. And I have on my wrist, it's a bit more girly. Tim is making embarrassed faces at me, but mine says be brave because my thing is always to be fearful. Like I've been Cosmo 100 times over. Like I've been the person who's like, I don't want to post that. I don't want to increase my prices. I'm too scared. Like I've been that person 100 times over to the point that on my wrist, I had to get the words be brave tattooed so that I knew to like step the fuck up all the time. Like step into the fear. Like the fear is the gateway to the thing that you want, right? Yeah. Anyway, little side note there on our tattoos. Maybe a solution for everybody is just to get more tattoos on their body.
Get inked, dude, like badass ones like us.
Shandy has asked, how do you manage the jump from solo coach to having a real team without losing control? Oh, interesting frame.
Oh, damn. Great question. Losing control, that's like a really interesting word frame there. So that would indicate to me that you feel like you have lost control of something in the past. Therefore, you might be putting the negative connotations on losing control on this new hire before you've even hired them, which is going to be an issue. But outside of the mindset, the secret mindset question that you've put in there, I'm going to answer the actual question which you're asking is you have to have SOPs, processes, and procedures. So if you're hiring a coach, you need to show them what excellence looks like, and that has to be documented. So if you're running some kind of coaching session, it's got to be start to finish, like greet the clients, do this, do this, do this, do this, and it has to be like a manual. Imagine you're a McDonald's franchise. It's got to be like that. And then you want to have like an handover period with the people, so they want to be shadowing you for 2 weeks, then you shadow them for 1 week, and then you obviously give them feedback on that from there, and then you want to check in and have meetings from there. But like the answer to this is how to not lose control is set quality standards for this, and then the only other thing I can say, if you're like handing over the reins to a coach to work in your business, try not to be a micromanaging psycho. Like that's the only other thing, because the more you micromanage, like if you go looking for problems in anything, in your body, in your mind, in your partner, in the front lawn, in whatever, you find problems. Okay. And if you go and start watching what someone's doing and start picking up how they walk or how they stand, you're going to find problems. You're never going to be happy with it. So you have to kind of like almost give up control and say 80% is good enough. And that is going to scale my business. Anything I missed?
The only thing, I'm just chomping at the bit to say it, Shandy, the key word that Tim and I both picked up on reading this is the control element.
Yeah.
that is going to be the biggest roadblock for you in your entire entrepreneurship career. And it's really, really normal to have this feeling of like not wanting to lose control. So the one thing that I'm going to encourage you to do before putting this person to work is identify what it looks like to be in control, like, and what you think you will actually lose control over. Because if you identify what you're scared of losing control over, because you're not scared of losing control over, maybe you are, but is it finances?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the customer experience? Mm-hmm. Is it that you won't be the number one person that your clients come to? Like, what parts of the control are you trying to maintain? And then you can put SOPs around that. But right now, it's kind of this blanketed, oh my God, I'm going to lose control. So let's just figure out and name what those things are that you're scared of losing control over. And then we can engineer your SOPs to actually ensure that you feel in control, regardless of whether you're there or not.
Yep. All right, next question from Julia E. How do you rebuild cash flow when scaling eats all of your profits? Steph.
Well, in an ideal world, scaling won't eat all your profit, but sometimes it does. And let me talk about this because I think that there are seasons of profitability and there are seasons of scale, and I call them periods of reinvestment. So typically we see this happen up to about $10,000 a month. Mostly an entrepreneur can kind of keep most of their own cash flow. Obviously, there's not usually a lot going out depending on if they have a brick and mortar business. Once you get to about $20,000 a month, you realize that it's not really sustainable for you to do this on your own anymore. And so then you start to invest in teams. More often than not, you don't actually put your prices up in alignment with that reinvestment. And so oftentimes what happens is that your profits start to dwindle and you are working almost because you have now someone else working for you and you're managing them and there's more things that are happening. You have more clients. You end up kind of having the same income you had before in your personal bank account. It doesn't seem to be growing, but you're having a lot more revenue. So profits typically dwindle. When you are scaling up your business, you do need to scale up price point. Now, the problem with someone like Julia, I believe that she has a bit of a fixed income business. What I mean by that is that in her business model, there are limits to how much she can charge legally. And so because of that, you are going to have to scale very, very intentionally with your business. And it's going to come down to two main things. One is going to be ensuring that your teams are at optimum efficiency. So making sure that they don't have 2 or 3 hours where they're just sitting around, making sure that if they're driving around to people's houses, that they're going on the shortest drives possible and that the routes are mapped so they're not wasting 3 hours a day in the car that you're paying them for, and plus the kilometers. It's about making sure that the efficiency of the hours of the team that you have are not blowing out. That's like the number one thing that we see when people are scaling their profits, not scaling with them. It's like you just want to get the team as efficient as possible. And then secondly, like you need to be a hawk with your subscriptions and your like the things that are going out. It's so easy to just keep slapping stuff on. Like you and I go through our bank account once a month,
like,
and we are like, what is this? When we're just constantly signing up for shit and then unsubscribing from it because we forget. Like if we didn't sit down and go through our bank account every month, we would forget that we subscribe to this stuff. And so it's just so important that you like are an absolute hawk with your expenses. When you have a fixed income business, so like more clients don't necessarily mean more profit, you have to be really, really stringent with the expenses that are going out. Have I missed anything?
No, nailed it.
Angela C has asked, how do you market when your energy and motivation are gone? Ooh.
Great question, Angela. It's extremely hard to grow a coaching business when you're like heavy on delivery because naturally all us coaches, we want to do the best job possible. And that takes a lot of energy. A couple of strategies, and I'm going to talk a couple of strategies depending on the situation you're in right now, but you want to put all your client delivery stuff in the afternoon and get all the marketing stuff done first. So as soon as you wake up in the morning, do your morning routine, whatever that is, get the stuff that's going to move the needle in the business done, set aside like a time budget for that. If it's an hour, 2, 3, whatever it is, and then do the delivery stuff. The other thing here is, and I think it's where a lot of people go wrong around that 10, 20, 25K month. They're not really outsourcing anything. Or a lot of them aren't outsourcing anything. And they say shit to us. Like we had a monthly release yesterday and people were freaking out like on the amount of work they have to do, but it's because they're just doing fucking everything. And we outsource stuff to a VA, we have a funnel builder, we have like graphic designer, we have a podcast team. It's all well and good to say that, and I get it, like our business is in a different position, but you got to start small. So I think everyone should have a VA that should be working full time for them around the 10 to 15K a month, because you need to hand off all the admin, all the client stuff, all the stuff that's just draining you and really isn't moving the needle in your business. And then from there, someone to help with delivery, like step 2. You just need to, like, you as the entrepreneur or the founder, you need to be doing growth stuff, okay? Not like responding to emails, chasing invoices. And then from there, it becomes a little bit easier to grow. And then you will generally hit your next scaling issue in business. So after you've got someone to help with delivery and you've got someone to help with the admin, then you've got like marketing and sales problems. And just every level of this, there is difficulties that come. But as the entrepreneur, the number one thing you need to be doing is marketing and selling your business. There are no higher ROI activities for you to do.
And Angela, on this, like, I've seen this in lots of businesses, and I think at around the 10, 15, 20K a month mark, I see this a lot. More headcount than they need. Like sometimes it's like they have no help, and sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I've got 3 VAs. And I'm like, what do you got 3 VAs for? Like, so we have one VA who does almost everything in our business. The only thing she doesn't do, and it's just because we're in a growth phase right now, she doesn't do video editing, so we outsource that. She doesn't do graphic design because it's just not her genius. So we have someone specifically for graphic design. That doesn't mean that she makes our social media posts. That just means that she makes the graphics for the slides, for the Facebook ads, and sometimes not even those things. Sometimes we still do that. We have some, a funnel builder that helps us out with building the funnel so that she doesn't have to build all the graphics on the landing pages because graphics are not her thing, right? But we're at $2.5 to $3 million business. Like, so we can have 3 people that are doing that admin. If you are under $20,000 a month, you should have one good VA, like you said, that's working full time. And I hear you already saying, but I don't have enough stuff to give them to work full time. You actually do. You just don't know how to give it off to them yet. Okay. And from the very beginning at around, I think about $20,000 a month was when I hired. I mean, I had a VA from $10,000 a month. I think I took her full time at $25,000 a month. And I was like, oh my God, this is so good. I'm so glad I made this decision. Get one good VA, invest in upskilling them. And then little things like I said to one of our clients yesterday on the group call, I was like, we had a process that we gave our clients yesterday and they were like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And I was like, no, you shouldn't be doing it. You should be giving your team this video and they should be watching it and they should be implementing it for you. I think sometimes we hold so much stuff rather than actually giving it over. Like, give them the tools to go and learn the thing and implement it on your behalf. You don't need to do it all.
All right, guys. Next question from Maddie B. How do you stop clients treating you like an employee instead of a business owner? Great question for you to answer, Steph.
Maddie, I know what your business is, so I know how this could happen very easily for you. This is not going to be an easy pill to swallow, but you have to stop acting like an employee and start acting like, if you protect your own boundaries and you hold the line and you say, hey, this isn't appropriate here. If you could email me over here and I'll get back to you within 24 hours, I'll get back to you within 48 hours. They're going to get pissed at first, maybe, sometimes, usually not even. But if you don't hold the line, then they won't either. Like, the boundaries and the respect that you get come down to the respect that you command. And if you are not commanding, like, you did not get into entrepreneurship to be an employee for 7 other people. Like, that's the worst. Like, I would rather have one boss, not 7. Plus, you're going to pay taxes and all this other shit and you got all the responsibility. Like, no, thank you. And so the first part comes down to, like, what are you still tolerating that you know that you need to stop tolerating? And then what am I going to do to ensure that I stop crossing my own boundaries? Because you can put the boundary up and you can email them and you can say, yeah, but I told them. But when they step outside of that boundary and then you don't push that boundary back on them and you let them step outside the boundary, you're the one that's breaking your boundaries, not them. And then you're trying to blame them like it's their fault. And so you have to not only set the boundary, but then you have to hold the boundary every single time.
My only other thing to add to Maddie is, like, people will take as much as you give them or let them. So if people are treating you poorly, like, in the end, that's on you. You have to put the boundary in place and stop letting people walk all over you. And, like, sometimes that's an uncomfortable conversation, but those uncomfortable conversations lead to great things if you have the balls to do that. Like, it's.
Have you ever had an experience where you fired a client for treating you like shit?
Oh, tons. I think we've fired about 8 people in Success School so far in 2 years. And yeah, I can tell you it's the best thing we ever did. Stops draining the energy from us and it's been incredible. Like, at some point you've just got to realize, like, the pain or the grief people are putting you through is not worth the money for what it is. And, like, I won't tolerate that from anyone in my life. Client, friend, family member, like, whatever it is. Like, if you've got the standards, stick to the standards.
I love that. And final question today from Natalie W. How do you balance working on your business versus in your business when both need you?
Great question, Nat. I am always for working on the business versus in the business due to the fact that it needs to grow. Depends on your goals. Like if you've got big growthy targets, then you're going to have to commit quite a bit of time to working on the business. Versus in the business, most people get stuck working in the business. Like a couple of questions we've answered through here is just like maybe they think they're the only person that can do it, therefore they're stuck working in the business. I know your business, Nat, and that could be it. Maybe no one could do it as good as you, which is fine, but I think some help with you with delivery would help tons to free up some time for you. But I guess like we all have the same 24 hours in the day as well. You just need to work out what you want to commit to that. The only other thing we go through this in one of our modules called Scale System is just doing a time audit for you. So what you do with the time audit is you write down literally everything you do every hour of the day. So each 15-minute block in the day has 3 things, and you just write down what you're doing. You do that for 7 days. And by the end of the 7 days, you look at the list and you say, what can I automate, delegate, or basically delete? And then you want to start delegating the things to admins, VAs, and delivery people. And you want to free up your time. As the founder, as the entrepreneur, what you need to do is free up your time so you can grow the business, not be stuck in the business.
I want to tell you a little example here because I think it's a cool story. When I first did this exercise, the time audit, it was like maybe 5 years ago now. Yeah. And when I ended up looking at my week, I had spent, no joke, I had spent 4 hours writing a welcome booklet to give our clients when they joined. Yeah. 4 hours I had spent. Now, this is before AI, granted, but still 4 hours writing a welcome booklet. And I would have told myself that that was working on the business. Like I was like convinced. I was like, no, but they need that welcome booklet because it sets the standard. Well, I could have done that in a 20-minute fucking welcome video.
Yeah.
So like sometimes you're so convinced, like we used to do the most hectic like gifting systems.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so complex. And like, I was so convinced that these were all the things that the company needed. When we stripped them all away, the company didn't need those things at all. And in fact, all of those systems and all those processes and all that admin, it just was weighing so heavy on the company that the company just couldn't grow. And so when you do the time audit, it's just such a relief to look at the things and be like, dude, what am I doing? Like, why am I spending so many hours on that? And how can I make that faster or get rid of it altogether? It's so genius.
For sure. Guys, if you got some value from that episode, share this with someone else. Our podcast grows via shares, believe it or not. So hit that share button on whatever platform you're at. It would be really good to share this with another business owner. Hey, if you have ever thought about taking your business from anywhere from like $10,000, $20,000 a month all the way up to 50 and beyond, our mastermind program will be a really good fit for you. We don't actually accept anyone, which is a little bit of an issue for you. So what you need to do is go to our website, makemoreprofit.com. We have an apply with us button. You need to fill in a bit of a form and we'll tell you if you're a good fit or not. Essentially, you need to have an offer. You need to have clients. You need to be willing to go all in on this as well. That's the criteria, but the form will let you know if you're interested in working with us. And I would love to see you on the other side of that, where we could have a call and see if you're a good fit and get a strategy on how we're actually going to implement that with you in your business. The last thing I want to mention there is we have a 30-day love it or leave it. So if you come in and you feel like it's not a good fit for you, you can leave anytime in the first 30 days. No hard feelings. So if you've been one of these people on the fence listening to our podcast, you're like, I gel with these guys. They're kind of my people. I know they can get me a result. Well, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain by just applying to work with us.
Yeah, we would love to see your application come through. We know that our podcast listeners are bloody legends and we would love to have the opportunity to have a chat with you. Guys, go have a great rest of your week and we will see you back here next week.